Hi, I'm garage door opener, fetishist, and genetics enthusiast Dan Umpton. Welcome to the Doomcast. Without any further ado, here is my review of X-Men Apocalypse. X-Men Apocalypse was a passable film. It wasn't as good as the first two X-Men films of this trilogy, but it was certainly better than the third X-Men film of the first. So it's still the fifth best X-Men film as X-Men films go. It suffered from the same problems as the third X-Men film of the first trilogy also. They didn't spend a lot of time characterizing the new people that they introduced. That was really my main complaint about it. Everything with Quicksilver was really fun. Magneto's background was really cool, or at least what he had been up to in the interim between Days of Future Past and now. James McAvoy stole the show once again, crying a whole lot, because James McAvoy cries in every single movie. He's cried in every movie that he has ever been in. He has cried in Chronicles of Narnia, he has cried in Atonement, he has cried in Starter for 10, he cried in Shameless. I'm pretty sure he cried in Shameless. He's probably cried, if he was in About a Boy, he would have cried in that, but I don't think he was in About a Boy. Strings, Wimbledon, Last King of Scotland, Penelope, Becoming Jane, Wanted, The Last Station, The Conspirator, Romeo and Juliet, Arthur Christmas, Welcome to the Punch, Trance, The Disappearance of Eleanor Rigby, Filth, Muppets Most Wanted, X-Men Days of Future Past, X-Men Apocalypse, X-Men First Class, The Coldest City, Submergence, Split. Those aren't even out yet, but I guarantee you he's gonna cry in those too. So if you stuck around and paid attention to the very end of the movie, you saw somebody carrying a briefcase out in the post-credits scene that had a bunch of different colored vials of tears that obviously James McAvoy is going to cry in the fourth X-Men movie, The Crying. But it got me thinking about, since they introduced so many new characters to the X-Men franchise this time, what are the 5 most worthless X-Men out there? Not characters that are bad necessarily, just their powers are worthless in battle. And I thought about it, and the first one kind of hurts, and that is Longshot. He's got a blonde mullet, 4 fingers, and he throws knives. He's basically Bart Simpson with luck powers, and he's not even a mutant. He's from the Mojoverse, which doesn't even make sense anymore, because it was an alternate dimension of reality TV, which is now this dimension. Dust. She's got the ability to turn into a sandstorm. She's a cool, it's a cool character because she's a Muslim superhero and there aren't a lot of those around, but I don't know, she can disable electronics, she's obnoxious, you can beat her with a vacuum. If she could transform into glitter, that would be cooler. Like, you can never get glitter out, you can get rid of sand pretty easily. Slipstream. Ooh, I can teleport, but not without my surfboard. Alright, this one hurts. Barnell Bohusk, known as Beak. He's from the new X-Men run from Grant Morrison. He's mutant power, as a lot of characters in that run by Grant Morrison, which is great, by the way. If you disagree, you can eat a bag of hot, wet taco farts. I don't give a shit. It's fantastic. A lot of the characters in that have mutant powers that don't really do much of anything, and that's part of the point, because he sort of makes the X-Men again about teenage alienation or minority alienation. It's really good. But he basically gets turned into a giant anthropomorphic chicken, and he has a mohawk, he has feathers, he has hollow bones, and he has vestigial claws and an actual beak, hence the name. He doesn't hardly ever do anything but beat Beast up when he's possessed. Oh, but apparently in some future timeline he has kids that end up fighting with Wolverine and are pretty capable. So there's that. He gets depowered at some point. Now he's not even a mutant, so whatever. Douglas Ramsey. Cypher. First of all, Douglas Ramsey, you sound like a financial guru. Nobody cares. His power is that he's able to understand any language at all. Once again, who gives a shit? What are you doing with that? If you encounter aliens and they're able to actually fly to Earth, guaranteed they have a universal translator, or they speak English because they've encountered human beings before, or mutants like the Shi'ar. So in Marvel Comics, nobody gives a crap. I mean, I understand that there's a lot of different people who are from multicultural backgrounds that you're probably talking with, but they probably all learn different ways to communicate. Oh, wait, you don't even need that because you have Jean Grey on your team and she's a telepath. And if not Jean, you have somebody else who's a telepath who's linking the X-Men. You don't have to bother with translating. What situation are you going to need Cypher in? Absolutely ever. Magneto takes over Paris and he's like, I am now French Magneto, and I will stop doing what I am doing if you can conjugate for me 6 French irregular verbs. And like Wolverine's just like, I didn't pay attention in French at all. Lights a cigar and goes, oh, North Star, you're Canadian. You speak French. In fact, I think you're French Canadian. I did not pay attention in school. I'm not so good with the grammar. And we're like, oh God, Cypher, he's here. Yeah, that's the only situation in which he saves the day. So, there's the list. I hope you enjoyed it. Next week we're going to be back. We'll talk about DC Rebirth, which happens to be my pick of the week. Now, the original DC Rebirth #1 came out 2 weeks ago, but this week Superman, Green Arrow, Green Lanterns, and Batman all dropped, and you should pick up all of those because it's bringing back the DC that everybody loved. It's fantastic. So go in, pick them up at Cape's Cafe, 900 Mulberry inside the Des Moines Social Club. It's always a great time. Grab a coffee. Also, tweet us at the Doomcast. I want to read your questions on the air, your ideas, or even your mean tweets. I don't care. So here's looking at you. Send me some mean tweets. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you later. See you next week.